with some unwanted house guests.
They eat everything in sight and refuse to leave. They're ants, thousands of them, and they're invading a home in Port St. Lucie. 10 o'clock news reporter Greg Meyer tells us the family has said enough already with these unwanted pests.
It's disgusting. I just take the whole thing and throw it in the trash can.
Susan Sewell is fed up with her ant problem.
They're all over. It's very annoying. You know, you're cooking your food and they're crawling all over. They're in the cabinets. They're coming out light sockets. And the problem hasn't just escalated.
6 months ago, Sewell began spotting the tiny black ants which belong in Vietnam, not Port St. Lucie. She terminated her last exterminator and hired Brian Reynolds.
Some of them are moving here.
Reynolds is the bounty hunter of bugs on the Treasure Coast. He's checking every crack, every light switch, and injecting the walls with his killer elixir.
Anytime you have ants walking around your house where you can't live in your house like normal people can, that's a serious problem.
Now, Susan says sometimes when she or her husband are in the shower, they will see literally hundreds of thousands of these ants crawling up and down the walls, so they'll spend their time in the shower killing the ants instead of washing their hair. Susan says the ants with their unusually long antennae even crawl in their bed at night.
We have found them in the beds and on the walls next to the beds and the bathroom. My husband got up one night in the middle of the night and the toilet was totally swarming, millions of these black ants.
Susan says she's an excellent housekeeper. Her kids and husband are even clean and can't understand why the exotic ants chose her house.
I'm very sick of seeing the bugs in my house, that's for sure. It's very annoying, it's embarrassing, and I'm just tired of them.
Now, this is exactly what we're talking about. I'm right outside the front door of the Sewell's home, and as you can see, this is a tiny little pile. Some of the pesticide does seem to be working on the ants, but again, this is something they've been dealing with for about 6 months, and they're going to be working on for quite some time. The good news is that Reynolds Pest Management says they seem to feel that they can solve this problem. They've got the right control, the right bug killer that they're going to be using, injecting inside the walls, and they hope to have the bugs eradicated in the next 2 months. Back to you.
Oh, we're glad to hear that. Now, Greg, I mean, what are Vietnamese ants doing in Port St. Lucie, Florida?
That's the thing they really don't know. If you take a look at the shrubbery and stuff, they have lots of bushes, lots of landscaping around the house, and they feel that maybe Mrs. Sewell might have brought some plants in that she might have gotten at a local landscaping shop, and it might have come that way. That's one of the most common ways to get exotic bugs in your yard, and that's what they're looking at. I mean, they're all throughout the trees, the bushes, on the roof. Just about everywhere in this yard you'll find these bugs, and again, it's hard to show you here, but they're little black ants, and they're driving this family crazy.
Yeah, makes me want to put in an astroturf and avoid those exotic plants.
Exactly.
All right, thanks, Greg.